We're live.
We are live. What? Yeah, we are live with Real Estate Live now. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for popping on. Today we have an awesome guest, Mr. Jason Frazier, also known as the Real Estate CIO. So we're going to get all into what he's about, but I just want to do a quick housekeeping. If you do want to pop on live and ask him a question, please enter a comment in the comment section below and let us know that you want to go live, and then Lance, our technical specialist, will be able to pop you on to ask the question directly to Jason. So I'm going to do a quick introduction for Jason, and before I get into that, I also wanted to let you guys know that next week we are having Mr. Owen Hemsnath. If I'm pronouncing it right, probably not. Probably butchering his name. He is a YouTube specialist and cancer survivor. He is the president of Video Spot and has built a global business from a simple YouTube channel. So he's going to be on with us next week, so I hope you can tune in as well next week. But today is all about Mr. Frazier, and so excited to have him aboard. Welcome. And I'm just going to give a quick introduction. I just want to make sure. Jason, can you hear me good?
I can. I'm just trying to mute all my sounds so I don't get interrupted.
Awesome. Okay, so Jason, he has a passion for advising realtors and loan officers on how to shape their business in the information age. His focus is to enhance their business of the 21st century by using the latest trends in technology, digital marketing, and social media. And over the last 18 years, he has worked and consulted for companies such as Clarion Capital, Founders Fund, Planeteer, is that right? Planeteer Technologies?
Palantir.
And LinkedIn. He's been blessed to be able to work with top minds in venture capital and technology that has shaped our online world. He is currently the CIO, Chief Information Officer for Mason McDuffie Mortgage, and he is the CEO of his boutique consulting firm, AirView. Interesting. Haven't heard about AirView. Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, or continue on with introducing yourself? Let us know about you.
Well, so AirView is actually it's basically my LLC that houses my consulting group, which I started to I actually started doing drone videos with an idea of kind of creating a marketing agency for real estate and mortgage companies. So that's where the name AirView actually came from. And so when the FHA got involved, then it just kind of became a little troublesome. And then I was focused more on Mason McDuffie. And so I'm not really doing anything with AirView. I'm more doing stuff with my real estate CIO brand. But AirView is more of just my LLC. That's the name of my company. But most people will know me as the real estate CIO. That's more of the branding that I market.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Annie, Natasha, I think you want to come on live and ask a question. Lance, can you get Anna to come on board and ask the first question? I know she had a question from our Facebook group as well for Jason. So let me know. In the meantime that you get that started, again, if anyone wants to go live, guys, just raise your hand and then go through the screen and say, I want to go live. No, I'm just kidding. No, just put in the comment section below that you want to ask a question live. This is, after all, live streaming community. So this is all about you guys. So if you guys have questions, this is the time to ask. So feel free. I can't see who is on unless you guys comment. So I need you guys to start commenting as much as you can so we can see that you're there. Because I can't see who's there, who's on, who's not. So I will start with one of the questions that I have, which is, I was going to do this at the end, Jason, but you know what? We're just freestyling here, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I am going to ask right now, if you could interview one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Geez. Well, I think honestly the first name that came to my head and is Gary Vaynerchuk. I would definitely interview him. He's a mentor from afar for me. His books and watching the Daily V and the Gary V show very instrumental in my career growth, giving me perspective that I didn't have before, and really just kind of waking me up to the things that I was doing internally that I didn't realize I was doing, and then just kind of, like he says, you got to audit yourself. So I really just kind of took a lot what he was saying to heart. I love his passion, his inspiration that he spits every single time he's on camera. So that would be the guy that I would interview, just because he's done so much for my career, whether he knows it or not. He's been out there and he's real. And I've tried to model a lot of what I do off of his, what he teaches, and just try to do it in my own way. But yeah, I give him a lot of credit to what he's done, in his business, and to what he's done to share out. And I think that's probably what I've taken most from him, is his willingness to just share whatever. He doesn't get any money for, obviously he's, making it other ways, but he's not getting anything. I don't have to pay him any money. I'm choosing to buy his books. I'm choosing, to buy his audio stuff. That's just me. So that's what I take away. And so I try to replicate that every single day, in my life, and just realize, that, hey, you only get one life, we're all going to die someday. And so I don't want to have any regret when I get to that point and I can't do anything about it. So every single day I want to bring it. I want to be passionate. I want to be inspired, because otherwise, why am I doing this? So that would be the guy that I'd love to interview, because he's done so much for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I believe that we have Annie on. Annie, are you there? And Sue, I see.
Yes, I'm here. Give me a second. Give me a second.
And then Sue, I know that
I'm not here, the boy.
You can get on it after Annie, Sue. Just make sure that you talk to Lance. Lance, if you can hook her up once Annie finishes up. Go ahead, Annie. Sorry.
No worries. I was talking to the kids, as I always am at this hour of the night. I love your geosites on the Snapchat.
Annie, we don't see your face.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not used to doing it on my phone. I'm used to doing it on my computer. Oh, God. Seeing me just makes my head hurt. Okay. I love your Snapchats. And I have been following you for the last couple of days when I found out that you were coming on our in our group, and I was like, who is this dude, and why do I need to follow him? Love you.
Thank you.
Love you. I do. I really do. So I was looking that you were creating geosites on Snapchat and how you can use that to help brand yourself and market yourself in your area.
Yep.
And I saw you creating, I think you did a Facebook Live like a few weeks ago, and you were doing it on your Facebook page, your group page.
Yep.
And I was saying, how many people were able to convert, or is it more for branding purposes, as well as, of course, we want to brand, people know, like, and trust and want us to work with them.
Yep.
But has anyone converted anyone from that? Even if they don't convert, I just like the branding part.
Yeah. So in my, basically the reason that I'm doing geofilters was I never imagined that I would put a geofilter up and that I'd get, at least for me, an instant lead and loan, right? So for the mortgage piece of it. I know plenty of real estate professionals that have gotten leads and converted from doing geofilters, but for me, it's about branding, because if you find the right venue and you look at the cost, if you look at how much you would pay to get in front of as many eyeballs as you can with a geofilter, like, for example, in my live, I was talking about when I did it at AT&T Park for a Giants game, right? And so I got a little over 7,000 views on my branding, and I paid, that was about $600, but to me, $600 to get 7,000 views at a baseball game and getting people at a baseball game. So and I saw some of the snaps because I was running a contest, and people are snapping pictures of Buster Posey, professional, celebrities. And so getting my branding with pictures of celebrities, to me, that's worth its weight in gold. And so, and then I just did the Inman conference and I had a little bit over 7,000 views on that one. And then I did a local festival, and I've done, just some general stuff around here. But all in all, I spent about I want to say it's something like maybe $1,400 on that, but I know that I've gotten 10 leads for our company, and we've closed one of those loans, and that loan by far pays for more than the $1,400 that I spent on the geo filter for our branding. So that's all that really meant. And I wasn't expecting that because, again, it's just how much am I going to pay to get as many eyeballs and attention on our branding as possible. So I'm really bullish on Snapchat. I'm bullish even more on the geo filters because you could get, I mean, like that Inman one I ran it 24/7 for 4 days straight, and it only cost me $350. And that's everyone at the hotel, that's realtors sharing it. My tribe, right? So I'm getting in front of all the people that I want to get in front of. And so that's just a huge, you can't really always factor ROI. In fact, ROI is kind of getting overused now, but you just can't buy that. You can't spend that low amount of money to
buy people recognizing you.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens, it's just people know, like before Mason McDuffie, I mean, we're a small independent mortgage company, we only got about 250 people. So we've done a lot of marketing this year, and we've really pivoted on a lot that we're doing on social media and whatnot. But before, where people, especially with recruiting, they would say, oh, I haven't really heard of Mason McDuffie. I mean, in the Bay Area, we're big, but, outside of here in other states and, Southern California, they don't know. But now it happens. Now that we go, oh, I heard Mason McDuffie. Oh, I saw you guys on YouTube. Oh, I saw your geo, so that's happening a lot more. So that, it's, with social media marketing and branding, you'll hear it a lot. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can't expect instant ROI off this stuff. But, I will be doing geo filters all over the place, and doing them now is key because we're starting to see now that certain venues are charging, or it's starting, Snapchat seeing how many people are using the geo filters now, and they're going, oh, okay, we're going to double it. That same geo filter that I ran at Inman that cost me $350 now costs me $775 if I ran it today. So you're starting to see that Snapchat is getting hip to the fact that people are wanting to pay for this.
Oh, I think she went.
Nope.
I think her internet connection maybe went down. Not sure. But
just in time.
Just in time, Miss Stu Pinky. Why are you in the dark?
I told you it was pink down. This is hilarious.
Internet connection maybe went down.
Okay.
Just in time.
Just in time, Miss Stu Pinky. Why are you in the dark?
I told you it was pink down. This is hilarious.
So we're getting a repeat, so now somebody needs to turn off the audio.
Okay.
Getting some feedback. Annie, can you hang up? I think it might be Annie.
Is that better?
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Ah. Ooh, look at me.
There you go. It's not October yet, Sue. You look so spooky.
Yeah, well, I was just looking up zombie foreclosure statistics. So I told you I was pinked down for the night. I'm in hiding.
Well, welcome. I know you had a couple of questions for Jason, so shoot.
Okay, Jason, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So let's talk about in branding. I think I do a really good job at branding myself. As well do you do. And you do
I agree that you do.
Well, thank you. So that said, my husband says to me last night, I'm not quite sure if you're a travel agent or you're a real estate agent. And I'm like, I'm out there promoting the town because that's what I do. I like my town. Yep. But I feel like I see the benefit in it. But to the other people out there, it's very difficult. And I know Gary Vaynerchuk be like, well, what the fudge? I don't know. Can we swear on this thing? I don't know. So, who cares what other people think? But there is a fine line. And it's like, how do you cross that line? Like, where is the line? How do you say, like, I don't want to be on my personal page and being like, yo, go buy a house. Because statistically, people on average buy 3 houses in a lifetime. Yeah. So, you don't want to be out there like, yo, buy a house. You want other people to see you for other things,
Yeah. So, lost the picture. So I'm sorry, were you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just playing with the video now.
So, and I think I said that I had an answer for this, and it's real simple. Is that yeah, I know what Gary would say about what your husband said. But what I would do to fix that issue is, or even if you perceive it to be an issue, is that I would start off with each one of your lives that you're doing, which I think are awesome, by the way, and it's a perfect example of being the digital mirror of your market. Is that you're doing exactly what you should be doing, because when it comes to it, when it comes to people looking at content, you want to identify your face, your name with that. So maybe in the beginning is you say, "Hi, I'm Sue, and I'm a realtor here in this area," or whatever the case may be is. And I love this town. I love this market. So today I'm going to show you the greatest thing. So you don't have to punch them in the face with, hey, buy a house, or hey, this is my closing I just did, or this or that. But it's like, hey, you start off just introducing yourself, saying this is who I am, and what I'm doing is I want to show you how great this town is. I want to show you how great, the restaurant here on, Main Street, puts bowls of water out for your pets. So if you're, walking around with your pets, here's a great place to give them a watering hole for that. And when you stop in, they do a manager special for that. And then, oh, hey, here's Rick. He's the manager of the Main Street restaurant. And hey, Rick, how did you get, So you could do so much that people will never get experience with. And then because people want to connect, right? So, and then Rick wants to, says, oh, hey, some people came in and say, hey, Rick, I saw you on Sue's live, or I saw you on YouTube, or I saw you on that. And then he's seeing the value on that. So maybe he wants to do something for you, or, put your business cards out or something like that. So, there's a way of doing it. And people are always going to say, well, people are always going to have critiques. You're never going to please 100% of the people on who's looking at your stuff. So that's going to happen. But for example, when I first was getting our company on Snapchat, even though of the success that I've had in marketing and doing stuff for a company that, is kind of out of the norm for a mortgage company to do, the first thing that I was asked from, my boss here about Snapchat, oh, how is that going to result in loans, right? And so I said, and then I kind of went through my whole thing on it, and then sure enough, we've gotten loans from it. And then not only that, but we've gotten realtor relationships that we would not have had without Snapchat, so that we're going to, so that I've connected those with our loan officers. And now we're getting referral business from that. And then so we got an email from one of the loan officers saying, hey, this was awesome, and all this stuff. And then so I forwarded it on and said, hey, I said, you asked how Snapchat's going to help our business. This is how Snapchat helps our business. So when stuff's new and people don't really understand, how that works, that's going to happen, but you're doing absolutely the right thing, because honestly, if someone right now, so I'm in California, right? We have a lot of people that go and retire and move to Florida, and someone asked me about Naples. Do you know who's, yeah. So, so that's what I'm saying, is that's all that matters. And if you talk to a lot of, some other real estate people that I'm connected with, like, Dustin, for example, I think you're in the SnapHack deal. He'll tell you that, he gets referral business from people, other real estate agents. And that's really, it's about networking. So I know I've referred leads to other real estate agents in other markets, because someone asked me, hey, do you know someone in the Iowa area or whatever the case may be? And I said, oh yeah, I know somebody. And because I'm comfortable with their snaps, and honestly, there's some real estate agents that are on Snapchat that I've connected with that I would never refer to, because I just see how they do their business. And if I'm going to refer someone that I care about, or someone that I don't want it to come back on me because that's kind of my name attached to that, I'm going to do it someone that's nice. And so when you're authentic, and that's the beauty about Snapchat, is you don't get a chance to be all polished and up, and like whatever happens, and that's what sticks out. So by no means do you need to punch people in the face with what you do. But if that is a concern of yours, just do an introduction before each one of your, just a simple thing. Hey, I'm a real estate agent here for Naples, in the local Naples market. And this is what I love about Naples. Today we're going to go over Avenue A, and then tomorrow's Avenue B next, so that's how you fix that.
So basically what you're telling me is I'm right and you're wrong.
Yes.
Thing. Okay. Sorry, sir.
I'm married, so the wife is always right.
Yes. Can I pop in with the secondary question, Sonia, or do you want me to pop off and come back? Yes, she's nodding. No, come back. Yes, stay.
No. Go ahead, ask away. Ask away.
Ask away. Okay. Okay. So the secondary question, which I put out there as well, is about Facebook ads.
Okay.
All right. So I do Facebook ads. I do the boost. And I'm saying I do both. I know the difference. I know what a dark post is. I got all that covered.
Okay.
The monetary, like what I'm not seeing is, putting it out there, and I do the landing pages. I don't just pump them out to a blank website. I don't get the conversion rate. Like I get the recognition. Don't get me wrong. I can walk down the street and people will be like, "Oh, there's Pinky," Which, by the way, I just got chosen as a judge for the upcoming Halloween dog costume. Very exciting. I know, right? We'll be snapping the crap out of that.
Yeah.
But my question is like I'm not getting the conversion. So what is there like, and I know like Katie Lance will say like just boost something for $5-10 just to see how it does, get it out there, do the A/B testing. I'm missing something, and I don't know what that is. Is it the monetary? Like, should I be pumping $200-300 into these ads at this point?
Well, it's kind of hard to answer that question without seeing your complete ad set. Without auditing it, who your audience is, what the demographics are, what you're doing. Now, are you talking about conversions or leads? Are you getting any leads at all?
No, I'm not getting any leads. Like I can see the hits, I see them go on, I see the insight, but they're not coming through. So, like, cause I have BombBomb. So, I have my landing pages set up through BombBomb, and I'm not getting the back side of it. And I think there's like, and I don't think I'm alone in this with realtors, because like I said, I do webinars every day so that I can figure out, what is it that I'm missing? What is the link? And, it's like, I'm beyond the, let's just boost this post and see how it does thing.
Yeah. Now, when you say boost, are you actually going into the ads manager and creating?
Yeah, I do it that way, and then I've done it the other way too. I play with it to see what works.
And then you've gone now. Have you done like lookalike audiences as well?
I've not done lookalike audience.
Okay, so not to say that that's going to work. How long have you been doing ads? Let me ask that.
Oh, for a while. I've been improving on them for years now, but now I'm at the point where I'm doing the dark posts and, all of that, but I'm just not getting leads.
Gotcha. Okay. So, again, looking at your ad set would probably give me a better idea of what I would suggest, but what I would do is a lookalike audience. So a lot of people don't know this, and it's actually a very powerful tool, and is to upload your client database that you have. Like, and I'll tell you why. So what Facebook will do is create a lookalike audience off of people that you've already had as clients that you've actually closed deals with, right? So chances are that you may hit someone that looks that, because you've been doing this for years, right? So you could upload every single person you've had up to Facebook, right? And then they'll look at those people because they're clients, right? That you've been successful with them. And so Facebook will look at those people on Facebook and then try to create an audience based off of the interests and demographics of those people that you uploaded, and create an audience completely based off of that. You see what I'm saying? So like, for example, if you had 10 people that are your de facto perfect person to do business with.
That you're friends with already on Facebook is what you're saying.
They don't have to be friends on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So that's one thing. So that's the benefit. Otherwise, that would be really hard to do, right? So,
Jason, really quick. So, just so everybody knows, how do you upload a lookalike audience? How do you create?
It's kind of hard. It's a process. What I could send something out or link it somewhere so you guys could kind of go through the process of uploading your contact database up to it. But it's actually not too hard to do. It's just kind of hard to, without kind of a screen share, it's kind of hard to describe how to do it. But anyway, when you upload it, you could create a lookalike audience. And then once you do that, because I was actually working with a realtor today on that, it will go out in Facebook, find those people that you've uploaded, and then we'll create a lookalike audience based off of those people, right? So as I was saying, is if you have 10 people that is like right in your wheelhouse of these are the buyer profiles that I have, right? Or these are the people that I've done business with. And then Facebook will try to create an audience based off of those people. And the chances are that those people will be more prone to maybe click, to look, to buy. So then what you do is market to those people. And then that's your audience that you're targeting your ads to. So if you haven't tried that, I would try that, because because right now you're just, I don't know anything about your ad sets. I don't know anything about your audience and how you're picking your audience, how you're picking your demographics, how you're doing your interests, how you're doing your job. I don't know how you're picking your audience. So I couldn't say that you're doing, something wrong or something different, or I would try that. Well, but a lookalike audience isn't shooting in the dark, right? It's always a toss up, but you're more prone to do business with someone that fits in your profile of clients that you've already had than you are if you're just kind of searching Facebook for people of a certain demographic and interest that you have no idea matches your buyer profile, if that makes sense.
Okay, so here's the thing though, with an audience, it's going to be based off my previous customers. Well, I just moved 3 hours south of where I was over a year ago. So I don't have a huge client base here. You don't have to.
It's
based on demographic.
Yeah, it's going to look more at the interest and demographics than anything else. Yes, location does play a factor, but you could still create a lookalike audience. National brands do this, and that operate everywhere. They just don't do a lookalike audience of someone that's in Southern California, for example.
Okay, and so, but in essence, though, like $20 isn't going to really do much for you in getting a lead. It's going to get you exposure, but not a lead necessarily.
It depends. It depends on if you're doing it at $20 could on a targeted deal. If you're targeting that lookalike audience, but it really just depends. And you'll know more when you look at your demographics of how many people you're going to reach, because Facebook will tell you out of X amount you're going to reach 351 people or whatever, and then kind of look at, all right, well, how many people of that is actually going to engage with me on that. And then you have to look at your insights to see what was engaging. And then another thing is looking, it also could be your ad, right? It could be, you got to look at your creative. What kind of visual element are you putting on there? Are you using video ads or just picture ads?
Okay, do both.
Okay. So, and then when you're looking at your insights, engagement wise, are you seeing any difference between video and your just regular picture ads?
I'm not getting leads, period. So
I'm not about leads. I'm talking about engagement.
You're talking about engagement as far as people commenting and things of that nature.
And views and whatnot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely higher with video. That's just my forum. That's where people go,
And then have you tried the retargeting with Facebook's audience engagement for people that are actually viewing your videos?
No.
Okay, so what you can do is you go on. Yeah. If you go into your ads manager and you actually click on audiences, you have a fourth option now that allows you retargeting based off engagement, and then allows if you've done form ads directly on Facebook, which I'd recommend that you do, and then you could do video retargeting. So what it does is it allows you, and you're uploading your videos directly to Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so which I highly recommend anyone that's watching, upload directly to Facebook. Don't do YouTube. Repurpose out to YouTube, but always do your videos directly onto Facebook. And then what you could choose, and I actually did a video about this, is that you could actually choose which percentage, like people that have watched 10% of my video, people that watch 25%, 50%, okay. And then you create an audience based off that. It's not going to show you who's in that audience, right? Because again, those views, you don't know who's viewed that video outside of your sphere, right?
Right.
So you're looking at someone that's viewed 50%. It's like, okay, I'll retarget that and see how many people an audience you created that, because they're already engaged and interested in your content, and then you could try doing ad sets off of that.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Now, and again, it always depends. It's just finding that right niche of getting leads and the Facebook, or not Facebook, but having your landing pages. There's just so many things that you could try. And maybe it's a video, maybe it's a visual thing. It's just getting that right. What's the call to action on that? Is it too much? Is your landing page have something more than just a name and an email? Is it, a ton of stuff? Because I did work with an agent before who their landing page was, they had, and it was all required, first name, last name, email address, phone number, address, had so much information. Nobody's going to fill that stuff out. I know as a consumer, I won't. But if it's just name and email address, that's your biggest chance of getting lead people to actually take the time. And also, when it comes to getting leads, other than doing ads, are you asking for, are you giving any value, right? Saying, if you're, hey, these are the, top reasons to do X, or this is, this is where I've seen people make the biggest mistake, download an ebook, and it doesn't have to be like a book, but it could just be like one single PDF page of best steps to do X, Y, and Z. So add some value, give them a reason to actually put their information so that they'll do it. I don't know if you've done this, but do a contest saying, hey, we're doing free tickets to a concert or some festival, or a $100 dine-in at a top restaurant or something like that. You need to add some value to get those people to want to fill in their information. Just doing ad sets, and again, I don't know if you're doing this or not, but just doing ad sets alone isn't always going to equate to getting leads. Just because you're asking for something, you have to give something of perceived value by the individual that you're targeting. So if something's real popular, if there's like, you could rent scooters in Naples or bikes or something like that, and give a coupon for a free afternoon ride or something, you need to give something of value. And you don't have to break the bank on it, but you have to give something of value so that these people will, in fact, put in their information in that landing page that you set up.
Okay. Gotcha.
So if you haven't done that, I would do a contest. I do those all the time. And those are by far the most popular. And you don't always have to do, you know what I mean? You don't always have to, spend
a ton. People that you're doing a contest for are going to want a mortgage.
Huh?
Like if you're doing a contest, like then you're, are the people filling out the form for the contest are not necessarily people that are going to be needing a mortgage. You're just looking to brand yourself in front of that audience.
No, but I'm looking at those demographics for when I actually do. So here, a perfect example. So out here, I don't know if you're familiar with California, but we have in Central California, it's called the Central Valley. We were trying to get, there's a really good bar section that we wanted to grab, right? So I did a contest based off of, hey, we're coming down to this location. We're gonna give away an iPad mini. So fill out information. And we got probably about 300 people to fill in their information. So now I have name, and that one we did phone number, but I got name, phone number, and email address. And then what we did is we went and did the giveaway, did a whole social media thing on it, and then we targeted all those people with drip marketing, right? And we closed probably about 5 or 6 loans from that subset. So that's, for me, that's you know what I mean? So yeah, necessary. And it's again, you're just looking at demographics and hoping, depending on what what kind of return you're going to get on that. But that was actually a pretty good deal. We've done refi business off of that stuff. It's just, and so to me, like for example, if I'm looking at revenue for what I'm paying for me to spend the gas money to get down to the Central Valley, the $400 iPad mini, the boosting on stuff, I look like maybe I invested maybe $1,500, but my revenue was 10x that. I'll do that all day long. If I have to spend $2,000 in a cash machine to get $10,000 back, I'll do that all day long.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So again, like I said, try to do contests and see how that works, to see at least if you're going to get leads off of that, or contacts. You could always farm. It's all about just getting leads and then putting. And I'm assuming you have a CRM, correct?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, in putting them in the CRM, and then you're doing drip marketing on those people. But again, I know your question was just about getting the leads. I would try a contest. I would try something that people are gonna really want, something like a lot of people have Apple devices, so do like maybe $100 iTunes card, or something like people like Apple TV, or an Apple, like at Inman I did an Apple Watch contest. So I mean something to where I know I'm going to get, and I've definitely gotten benefit from that. So it's just really, you want something that's going to grab a creative that looks great, something that's going to grab their attention, and something that people are actually going to want.
All right. Cool deal. Thank you. Oh, and my husband's here, so tell him again what you said, that I was right and he was wrong.
Your wife was right.
You hear that, Benson? Yeah, huh?
And Sue, if you need, you're connected with me on Snapchat and everything, so if you need any help or whatever, just let me know.
Thank you.
Awesome. So did you have any other questions for Jason?
No, I don't know how to get out of this thing, though.
Oh, you could hang up on your end. There you go. Annie, you had a question, right?
One last question, and then I'm going to go. Okay. So, back to the geosites. So, yesterday I was playing around with it, and I was, give me 1 second, just one.
Okay.
This is live streaming, young folks out there.
Hi, how are you? You didn't hear that, did you?
No.
Okay, good. You just saw it. You didn't hear it.
Yeah,
okay,
no.
that's even better. I did the U.S. Open yesterday, and I said, okay, if I did the U.S. Open today I was there, I did a geosite for the U.S. Open. I did like 1 million square feet, maybe 1.4 million, because I think it only goes up to 5 million, right? Something like that?
Something. I don't know. Actually, I think 500,000 maybe? I'm not sure.
Anyway, you look at 5 million, 5,000, I don't know. I did 1.4.
Yeah.
So I did the 1.4 something. For the U.S. Open, for 5 hours, it cost me $5,000.
Oh, so, wow. Yeah, not surprised.
So either they're catching on real quick or we're catching on real slow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking I'm going to make it more local to me. So I would do like homecomings here in Maryland because they're really big out here. These people love a homecoming. And the next thing I was thinking of doing was say something more local to my neighborhood, to my area. But hearing you talk about the contest, is there a way you can pull that in with the geosites and Facebook and tie it all together with a nice little bow? I like bows. I like things to tie in nice and pretty.
Yeah, so I actually I did kind of a how to run a successful Snapchat contest. And I can't really post everything because I submitted it to Inman as an article, so I can't really post it anywhere else until I can tell you about it. I have no problem telling you about it. I just can't post it anywhere. But anyway, so in that in my article, what I talk about is, so in a geofilter, you can't say go to this website, right? You can't go to this. But every event, like a conference, like for example, Inman, it had an in-conference app that you could use and talk on. They had groups, they had LinkedIn groups, they had newsletters with an email contact list. So there's ways to contact those people outside of Snapchat and say, hey, if you're going to homecoming wherever, or let's say there's a festival in Maryland, right? The Apple Festival or whatever, and so it's your local market, so and you say, okay, well, I could put, hey, I'm doing a geofilter on Facebook and target ad people in your town or wherever, that everyone in the town.
Stop.
Yep.
You could do geofilters on Facebook too?
No. I'm saying this is how you tell people about the content, because you can't do it in the geofilter, because you can't do a call to action in a geofilter. You can't say, here's my website, go here, here's my. So what you do is you do that outside of Snapchat, like do a targeted ad set saying, I'm running a Snapchat geofilter contest here. And then maybe send that out in a newsletter to people that are going, and hey, please share this. I'm doing a giveaway. Again, people love contests, especially. The beauty about Snapchat geofilters is you make it competitive, right? You can say, whoever, first of all, you got to add me on Snapchat. So there you go. You're grabbing people on Snapchat, right away. But you can also say, hey, you make the geofilter fun. So it's like, hey, take a picture. Maybe it's like someone pointing at something and say, hey, send me your best snap where someone's doing this and they're pointing at somebody, and so they're sending you that snap. So you're making it fun for them, engaging, as opposed to just say, hey, take a picture or whatever. You could do something like a scavenger hunt, saying, so in Maryland, I would imagine there's a lot of history around there. So you So hey, take a snap of this statue, and then take a snap, and whoever sends me a snap with my geofilter for these 3, things that are at this festival, you'll, whatever the best one is, you'll win an Apple Watch, or you'll win an iPad Mini, or you'll win a $100 gift card to some spot, or something like that. So, and then you could advertise that, either via
on my Facebook
email, or do it on Facebook. Do targeted advertising to your town or people that that come to the Apple Festival. Like for example, if it's something main in your, something that's big in your town, generally that has an interest category for it. So like I said, if the Apple Festival, people come from miles around from states to come check out this festival, you could target that on Facebook. And then you're getting in front of it in the contest. And again, that's how I've done all my Snapchat contests, because you can't do any calls to action in the geo filter. But that gets people using it. And then just by in general, people are using Snapchat just outside of anything, and they'll see your geo filter.
How would I see their photo? Because I advertised it on Facebook. They're going to upload it to my Facebook business page.
They could do that, or what I do in mine is I have them snap me, right? So I say add my snap code or add my username to Snapchat, then snap me the picture. Like in Inman, I got a ton of snaps by people using my geo filter, snapping me because they wanted to win the Apple Watch.
When is this article coming out?
I don't know. It hasn't got approved yet. I just sent it to him. But if you want, as long as you promise not to post it, I'll send it to you.
I would never post it. Okay, I'm going to hang up now and let somebody else come in. Hey, Mark. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Jason. You will be seeing me. I'm a part of your Snapchat group. I'll be talking to you some more. Thank you.
Mark, you're on mute.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hey, good. How's it going, man?
Good to see you. Thank you for doing this, by the way. I appreciate it.
Oh, no. I'm honored to be on here with everyone.
So I had a question. My question is more about Facebook business pages and converting people from my personal page to my business page.
Yep.
And what's the best way to kind of go about doing that? I have coming up soon is there's a local coffee shop that's opening up tomorrow, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And so my thinking was, like, if I did a video, like a Facebook Live on my business page, say something like, hey, just did this, the coffee shop just opened up, did a great video on my business page, go here to check it out, that type of thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about something like that, or did you have any other suggestions?
Yeah, no, so that's a great idea to do. Me personally, what I notice more is that I get a lot more viewers and a lot more engagement when I go live on my personal than I do on my business Facebook page. And so, and that's not across the board, all over, across everybody, but a lot of the influencers and social media people that I know I'm connected with, a good percentage of them do the same thing. They just get more interaction. And like, for example, I get it's just happened over probably the last month, but pretty much every single day I'm getting a friend request on Facebook from people in real estate, mortgage people, other real estate agents, title, just all these different people that are connected with, you guys or somebody else or someone on Snapchat that, has heard me. And so instead of it's like at this point, I don't really care. I mean, I put my personal stuff on Facebook, but just because of the nature of my business, who cares? I'm not putting anything, whatever, but it's just, because at one point, probably about a year and a half ago, I was like, okay, look, my personal page is just gonna be personal stuff. I'm not gonna add anybody that I deem is not like family or close friends. And then I'm gonna put all my business stuff on my Facebook page. Now, what I've noticed is that since I've kind of since I went the other route and just started adding people to my personal, I get a lot more of those people now on my business page. Because I think one is a lot of the normal person on Facebook doesn't understand the difference between a business page and a personal page. For the people that you're talking to, right? Maybe you understand it, but maybe they don't. Yeah. So they don't know to go to your business page to friend you. They just go to your, or to like. They go to your personal page. It just happens most of the time. So, with that, I would just do what I do now is if I go live on my personal page, and then I share that out to my business page. So that way you're hitting both people, so you're getting the live there, but you're also sharing out live to your business page. Now, the one problem that I see a lot of people do is when they go live on their personal, if they have their privacy settings too strict and they don't do public, the little globe that you see when you're broadcasting, make sure you choose the little globe so that you can share it and that other people could share it. Because there's people that I go live and I'm trying to share their stuff, but they have their privacy controls locked down for obvious reasons. So they can't share those live feeds. So I would go personal and then share it business and then see how it interacts. And then if you can't, see how many people start going to the business page, knowing that you're going to be doing that. And then you just try to market. And then again, you could always do the invite if you haven't done that. A lot of people don't for some reason, but go into your personal page and say, hey, go into your business page and start inviting the friends that you have on your personal page to like your business page.
Gotcha. So you think it's better to put it on my personal page and then share it to my Facebook page, kind of opposite of what I was originally thinking?
Yeah. Just because I can only speak for me, is that I get far more viewers and far more engagement when I and this is across, because again, I started just adding people to my personal Facebook, a lot, real estate agent, people that I'm not really necessarily friends with, but that I know on Snapchat or whatever they connected with me. I'm just trying to, you're trying to get reach, you're trying to get eyeballs and attention. So you might as well try to see what you get. And I don't know, try it. Do a Facebook Live on your personal, then do a Facebook Live on your business and see what gets them, maybe it's opposite, but I know when this came up before and I forget where, but it was probably like a week or 2 weeks ago, this subject came up in a group that I was in, and that was my statement, was I go live on personal and I share out to business, and a lot of people agreed that it's the same way for them, that they get a lot more engagement on their personal and then they share it out to their business.
Yeah, could you still get the like the insights and everything else when you share it onto a business page, or no?
No, you can't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot. Let you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Awesome.
All right, Isaac.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
And after Isaac, once he finishes up his questions, I still have questions from our Facebook group that I want to ask. I want to be mindful of time frames. So, Isaac, ask away. You're on mute.
Perfect. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yep.
Good. Okay, great. Hello, Jason. Good to see you.
Hey. Good to see you.
I watched your stuff you did with Michael Meyer as well, and very impressive. So,
thank you.
Anyway, I got a couple quick questions just to respond to that last question that Mark had. I actually use a software called LiveLeap, and I can syndicate to all my pages at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I can broadcast actually to my personal page, my business, and my two business pages all at the same time. I can just go in there and actually select which pages I want to broadcast to at the same time, and it'll syndicate to all three of those pages all at once, all live.
Now, does that broadcast outside of Facebook or just Facebook only?
Only Facebook.
Okay.
So they have Facebook now. They're looking at introducing Twitter and a YouTube as well.
Okay.
So,
because Facebook is very particular about third-party apps that use to broadcast to them, and you actually cannot go live on other networks other than Facebook Live. Otherwise, they'll revoke your access to do live video.
Yeah, and there's a syndication through JV Zoo, and I don't know if you know Luke McGuire and those guys that company of that, but they actually set up. They're the only ones that can actually syndicate to Facebook. So, and I've done that, and when I syndicate to all three of my business pages at the same time, I get a lot of views because, as we know, Facebook likes to boost that up for us.
Are you able to get questions though? So if someone likes, or are you able to see all that and answer questions live, or no?
So yes, when they come through, they do come through live as far as the questions go. And it's still such a new software and platform that they're still working on a lot of different things, and they're adding things here and there. But is what I sometimes will have to do. I'll have to have my wife, she'll moderate some of the questions on my business page until they get that sorted out. That's one of those big things that they've actually been working on getting fixed and taken care of. So, because it is such a new software essentially, but it does work extremely well.
Oh, cool.
So, anyway, my question is sponsored. I know we were talking about Facebook ads. What would be your recommendation of sponsored post, an ad, or a boosted post? And I know there's probably different uses for each of them, but what would you recommend?
It really depends on what your end game is for the ad itself. If it's page likes, or if it's an action, clicking on a link, going to a website, if it's engagement on a post. It really just depends if you want people to share your post. It just really depends. That's why there's so many options. If you go into the create an ad, there's so many different. There's like 4 or 5 different sections, and each section has 3 or 4 things that you could choose on it. That's kind of where it is. I would, personally, I boost a lot of my posts, but I also, when I'm boosting it to a set audience that I've created before, right? And this is where I've talked about doing the retargeting audience. So, for example, when I'm boosting a video that I've done, for example, I just boosted I boosted my bloopers video that I did on my Facebook page, where I put together all the bloopers I did for this one company video that I had done. So I just did a quick blooper reel. So I boosted that one, but I boosted it doing a retargeting to an audience. I think I set it at 50%, people that had viewed 50% of my videos that I posted on Facebook. And I got, I want to say it's up to almost like 1.7, almost 2,000 views, I want to say. But that you could boost something, and you boost it for a long enough time, you're going to get a ton of views. But the amount of views that I got on that through the retargeting was so much quicker than the amount of views on a placed ad that I had done on a similar video. Even though I was going basically the same audience, but I retargeted to a subset of audience that I know was watching at least half of my videos. But it's really just getting how much of that. I got a lot more shares on that as well. So it just really depends on what your end game is. You could do. I know people that just boost posts and they get a ton of it. I know people that get granular and targeting and ad sets and click throughs, or doing like a form ad through Facebook and having them fill out a form, and you know what I mean. So it really just depends on what your end game is for your ad. But for me, I boost most of the time, and for my business, I've gotten pretty good response off of that. But again, it's just if I'm trying to do something to where it's a call to action, where I'm trying to get people maybe to go to my YouTube page and stuff like that, or click on a website, hit a landing page, then it's a little different. Then I'll probably go into the ad creator and actually just do an ad that's focused on that. But for the most part, you're just you're boost, because also the difference you have is, like, when you boost something, you just get one shot, right? So if you have something that is high engagement, high performing, high viewing on your page, then a boost makes sense. But if you're trying to get a call to action, or you're trying to get someone to actually do something, then you could actually go in and then, and again, I'm probably telling you something you already know, but you go in and you create your ad set, but you could do like 5 or 6 images, you do a carousel, so you could do a lot of different stuff. So people are not seeing the same thing over and over again. The message is different. The visual is different. The creative is different. And I'd highly recommend, and I'm starting to pivot towards this just because, but it's, just time has been different. But if you have the time to do it, I would just do video ads, right? I would just do video ads. And one thing that I'll tell everyone here, it's just kind of a secret that I do that not people know about, is that there's a system called Envato, a website that's kind of like a collection of a ton of different, it's called graphicriver.net. But anyway, you could get some stock footage, and it's pretty cheap, but you could buy these stock footages, and then using a simple video editor, you could use something like iMovie. I personally use Final Cut, which is like iMovie on steroids. But you could get these little clips, right? And then you could put some text on it. You could put your logo on it, because you're owning it, right? So you buy it. People have already created a nice image for you, but you put some text on there, put your picture at the end, put some stuff. But you can do a lot of these videos. So people always say video, then that how do I do it? I need to get a professional to videotape me. You don't always need to do that. There are cheaper ways to do that stuff.
Okay. One quick question also before Sonia hops back on here. So I know we have a lot of new agents that obviously joined the group, and they're trying to figure out their way, essentially, and where they actually fit in. And so I'm the newest agent that just got on. I just got my license. What would you say the top 5 things I need to do to get my presence taken care of socially?
Socially. Okay, so the first thing, and actually I was on with Neil Mathwick. I don't know if you listen to the Onion Juice podcast, but I highly recommend it if you don't. We actually had the same question. In fact, I did an interview with AdWorks today, and that was a question they asked me. So the first thing that I would do as a new agent is get your branding down. And I'm talking more of consistency and collateral. So, because branding isn't just about your logo or what your flyers look like. It's more about how you are as a person. What's that emotional element you're going to have, the EQ that you're connecting with to your potential client base, right? So, one is get a domain name, right? That's the first thing I would say. Your very first expenditure needs to be a domain name, something that's going to speak to the philosophy and the mentality you're going to have as being a real estate agent. You know, is it something that's about, you know, your area? Is it something that it's about a market or a name or whatever? But get that domain registered first. Get that done, and then start deciding on what kind of creative do I want around my branding? You know, what do I want it to look like? I want to feel it, and then get consistent. Because what you don't want, and I see this mistake all the time. I see it in my neighborhood. I see the real estate agents, you know, their A-frames look different than what the signpost is. Their sign writers are a different color. Nothing makes sense. The numbers are different, you know, because they didn't want to pay to get their stuff updated. So you want to be consistent with your marketing. So you want to get your collateral planned out. You want to have everything nice and what you want it to look like and what it's going to speak, and then do that, and then decide what your principles are going to be. You know, what's your why? Why are you doing what you're doing, right? Because the successful real estate agents that I've worked with and the ones that I've seen, they really have that down. They're like, why are they doing this? And they're giving that out to their client. They're finding a way to connect emotionally to them, right? So to me, it's getting your branding down and what you're going to be as an agent in your market. You do that. Then if you're a new agent, this is used, and again, this isn't stuff that I've made. This is Gary Vaynerchuk stuff, but and he actually spoke about this at Inman, is you be the digital mayor of your town, right? You be the hyper local guy. So let's say, like, for example, my town is San Ramon in California. So if I'm an agent starting off in San Ramon, I'm going to do exactly what I just told you. Is I'm going to get my domain name. I'm going to do whatever. This is my local market. I'm going to own it. I'm going to know every square inch of my market in my town. I'm going to know that this school is a great school from K to 5, right? But it's not really great from 7 to, you know, junior high, or 6 to 9 or 8 or whatever. And then this high school is great, but not so much. And I know that in the mornings, because we have a big office park here, that this road sucks for commuting. So I'm going to understand everything. I'm going to meet the owners of every one of the most popular businesses. I'm going to check Yelp, right? So I'm going to check Yelp and see which has the highest ratings. I'm going to go to those restaurants saying, hey, I'm going to be doing marketing on the local. I'd like to feature you on that. And then again, you could a lot of people just want to be on camera and talk about their businesses. So you don't have to have a following, you know, because we do this all the time and no one asks us, like, how many followers do you have? They just say, oh, that's awesome. I'm getting free publicity for my business. So you go to every single business and say, hey, and then I talked about this with Sue a little bit, is that if that becomes to where someone walks into a restaurant and said, hey, I saw you on Isaac's Facebook Live on the best barbecue place in San Ramon. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. And so next time the owner sees you, maybe that develops a relationship. And then you're doing business networking. So if you really want to own your local market, there's a ton of free things you can do for other people that will help you gain business and get get eyeballs and attention on what you're doing. So a lot of people don't do that. That's what I would do as an agent. That's what I tell agents to do when they ask that, is say, go on Yelp and see where the most popular places are and become friends with those people that run those businesses and help market their business so that, you know, again, this is that Gary Vaynerchuk jab, 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 right hook, is you give, and then, you know, get back. And that's the way you own your market, because again, when it comes down to it, you want someone to equate your name and your face with your market in town, because again, it's all about looking at that content first. And then when they decide to make that buying decision, you know, they know where to go.
And one thing to add to that is one thing I was looking about doing, because this has come across my mind, you know, from Gary Vaynerchuk stuff also, is that I know you can create custom geo filters, and you talked about a little bit about that Snapchat, but go to a local business and run a special geo filter for that business and let them know and see if they want to do some kind of joint marketing with you to help them grow their business also, and then grow awareness that way too. So that's one of the ideas that I've, want to act on.
That's a great idea. I mean, I've done that. I've done geo filters for other people just to do it because it helps them out. And then it gets, again, it's just that give mentality. And then again, you hope that you're going to get it in return. You don't expect it, but just hope. And generally people, when you're helping them out, like we run a program here called the Agent Experience, and we help like what I'm doing when I help some real estate agents that I've met, I don't charge them anything, but I find out that people are whether it be guilt or whatever the case maybe is they're getting something of value, and eventually it comes back. And it's just good to do it in general, but it does pay off business wise. At least in my experience, it does. I've always given out, and you're going to run into some people that aren't going to care or not going to give anything back. But yeah, sorry.
It's the top of the hour. I just want to make sure. I still have maybe 3 more questions. Are you okay with another 10 minutes? I just want to be mindful of your time.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Awesome.
I'm going to hop off. So thank you, Jason. I appreciate you. And we'll be chatting on Snapchat, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, just send me any questions or anything. But yeah, I'd actually like to see how that goes.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Sorry, I don't mean to bump people off, but we're mindful of your time. And everybody else's time as well. So I just also want to get to some other questions.
Okay.
I have 3 more questions from the Facebook group that we have. Chelsea Pites, she was asking about what CTAs do you find successful and what kind of lead magnets do you use or do you think agents have a lot of success with regarding home valuations?
Yeah, so again, it really depends. All the call to actions that I see the most that where they have the most success are, and what I was telling Sue is when there's some sort of value that is given. So when I see real estate marketing, I do a lot of it just to see how it works and see what realtors are doing. The home valuations, and I don't know if maybe you guys run it differently, but every single one that I've clicked on is I don't get any value. I get 0 value. They want me to pick up a phone and call them or do that, and I don't want to do that. Like if you're gonna offer me something of value, and it seems kind of like a bait and switch, right? And I understand I totally understand. Don't get me wrong. Again, everything that I say is coming from a love of real estate. I think real estate agents, realtors, I think you add a tremendous value to what you do. It's a hard profession. I really have a passion for the people in real estate and for the real estate industry. However, I'm always going to be real and tell you what I think from a consumer standpoint, what I think is wrong, because as you know, because you've been following me for, since I've been on Snapchat and we've been connected and whatnot, but I'm all about the consumer experience. CX is the absolute foundation of everything that I do. And and again, I don't know if other people do it differently, but I've done probably 10 home evaluations around here, and every single one does not give me anything. It always equates to them sending me marketing. And it's like, oh, call me and we'll talk about it. Or the email I get is like, oh, I see that you wanted to see the value of X, Y, and Z. Please, let's meet over coffee. You know what I mean? So that's, again, I totally understand doing that, and I'm sure that works for some of them. But as a consumer, I hate that. I absolutely 100% hate that, because give me something of value. Because as a consumer, if you're giving me something of value, and I'm other than me, obviously, I'm not trying to sell my house or anything. I'm just trying to get with the marketing. But if you're going to run across that someone, and sometimes you only get a chance, right? Because we get sold to every single day on so much stuff. I mean, I don't know about the malls out where you guys live, but the malls here, you have that like gauntlet of kiosks that you have to go through when you're walking through the mall now, and everyone's trying to give you, well, not me really, but I probably need it, but like the makeup, the cologne, the perfume, buy a cell phone cover, all those things, and you're just right. People don't really want to be sold to that way. It maybe worked, that guerrilla marketing works in certain cases, but it just doesn't. So if you can be the opposite of that and not be that used car salesman type deal, just for lack of a better phrase, you're going to stand out, and that's going to stick out in the consumer. Because if in my case, I did like for example, I'm on number 8 home evaluation, and it's the same thing. But number 9 actually gives me what I asked for. Guess what? That person is going to be the one that stands out in my head, not the other people that tried to do the bait and switch. So, I hate home valuations, and only just because the ones that I've experienced are total salesy crap that I hate. Now, you need to add value as a real estate agent, and also as a real estate agent, you need to understand that I'm very clear as a mortgage professional, is the perception of our industry is horrible, right? It's horrible. You look at some of the comments on some articles on Inman or Housing Wire or any trade, you'll always have people going, oh, real estate agents, they only need to spend, 10 hours getting a license, and they could be, what kind of value do they add? Technology is going to replace. There's a bad perception. The housing crisis, especially for mortgage, like we're an independent lender. We weren't anywhere near of the big banks that caused or, that had to do with, why the meltdown happened. And we could debate, who was really responsible for that. But the perception is what matters. Perception is reality, especially in our business. So you need to fight that by adding value and by doing education. So that's why, like, for example, Sonia, you're the perfect example of when you're doing your Snapchat and stuff like that. The first thing out of your mouth isn't, hey, I'm Sonia, I will sell your house. I will help you buy a house. And it's like, great, you're a real estate agent. I understand that. I'm not an idiot. You don't have to punch me in the face that this is what you do. But I get value when you go through the properties and you're like, oh, this is what mold looks like, or this is what, some of the stuff it's raining, or the photographer's not here. But that's real life, and you could identify that. Business people could identify with that and understand what it is like to be a real estate agent. Understand that you're not getting paid a salary. You get paid off of doing deals, right? So so why would you want to do
like nodding my head like, oh my god, yes, I'm like a headbanger right now.
Yeah, so,
you know what, I have to tell you, I'm my own testimonial, I guess, because on my Facebook, I'm on my 4th listing. I've already gotten my 4th buyer through Facebook. Mm-hmm. And not my personal page, on my business page. So I am a walking testimonial, and it's always jab, 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 education, education. My highest count of views or engagement was when I told people, don't buy a house.
Yep.
Do not buy a house, is what I said. And that was like, I think I got over 15,000 views on that. I don't even know how much engagement. It was a little crazy. And people want authenticity. People want you just to be yourself and just be real. And honestly, I haven't really said much about that, but yeah, all of that does work, but consistency is key, and also just being very authentic, as you've mentioned in a lot of your when you spoke with Chelsea, when you spoke with Neil. I mean, really, authenticity is really, really key, guys. And again, I'm just speaking for myself right now. So yeah, that's exactly right.
And I will, just to get back, the best call to action is ones that do not look like a call to action.
Exactly.
If that makes sense to you guys, but it's kind of placing something where you have a call to action, but it doesn't seem like it's a call to action, that you're adding value and you're doing something that the consumer actually wants to do.
Absolutely. I also want to add the next question really quick. There's 2 more questions, and then we'll call it quits. Shannon Milligan says, do you feel realtors need to have a director of social media to handle all of their accounts? She said, I know for me, I want to be authentic, and it also becomes overwhelming to handle it all because I do need to be selling as well. Obviously, we all got to pay our bills.
Yep. So, it really depends on the person, but at the same time, like, so this is a business that I actually do, right? So I actually get paid to manage people's social media in real estate and mortgage and property and plazas and commercial property. And it works great when you really have a good connection with that person that's doing the social media. Yes, it has to be authentic, but if they can speak in the same type of voice, bring the same type of passion and emotion you have for your business in your social media, it more of, when you get to that point, it's more of a mechanical function, like post X, Y, and Z, right? And then the mechanical function, as people see, once that gets taken away from the, if it's a loan officer or if it's done from the real estate agent side, once the mechanical functions, you'll notice that you just commenting or saying something on that post, like, for example, oh, this is a post, and then you could just do like, for example, doing, planning out your post, maybe that took, I don't know, maybe that took 2 hours on a Sunday or on Monday morning, or whenever you did, maybe it took 3 hours. And now, if you're just checking up on your social media and adding a little comment here and there just to bump it up, and maybe that takes 20 minutes. So now you've reduced the 3 hours to 20 minutes. And so it's really the mechanical functions where what did you call it? A director of social media can help you out, but you need to have a connection with that person, and they need to be doing it right by you. So you need to have someone that really understands social media and understands that emotional connection, because it does need to be authentic. You could tell when people are just phoning it in. You could tell when they're doing 100% automation, because you see what they post, and then you see an auto post and it looks nothing like that person. So a good director of social media, a good social media person will be able to take how you are as a person on social media and copy that when it comes to doing the post. And again, a lot of it's just mechanical functions. And then maybe instead of posting 3 times a day, you're only posting once, and it's just something to, to put on there as opposed to doing that. But then again, it allows you to concentrate on the stuff where obviously you can't farm out Snapchat, right? So there's certain ones that you can't do, but like doing Facebook posting, doing Twitter posting, there are ways to do to manage your accounts and have it done correctly and right, as long as that person isn't just some person that's just posting content, but someone that actually understands how you are as a person.
That's awesome. Yeah, I completely agree 100%. And then one last question, which is Michael Meyer from New York is asking, how in the world did you become such a rock star?
By watching people like you. And I'm 100%, I know it's going to sound cheesy and lame or whatever, but that's exactly. So when I got on Snapchat, right? So actually, you guys might find this funny, right? Because of the way that I am now, is that I actually had an intern not this last summer, but in 2015 here, and she was doing Snapchat and stuff. And she's actually the daughter of my director of consumer experience here. And they were doing Snapchat, and they were like, hey, Snapchat, it's fun. And what they were showing me is like the, opening your mouth and the rainbow comes out, the big eyes, the dog face, all that stuff. And I was looking at it, and they're like, hey, we should, do company Snapchat stuff. And I was looking, I'm like, who's going to do that? That's it's lame. It's like, I'm not going to do that, right? So, and then of course, as the year goes on, I see more and more people talking about Snapchat, more real estate people. So I want to say I got on Snapchat earlier this year when I actually started getting on it, because I created an account a while ago. I just didn't do a lot of content on it. But it really wasn't intuitive to me. So I went and got on, I took a vacation. And I said, okay, this one day I'm going to spend on Snapchat, and I'm just going to watch people, look out at, connect to people. It also started when I connected with Carlos Gill and iSocial Fans, Brian Fanzo, at Social Media Marketing World, and getting into how much value I could see in Snapchat. And so I just like, you know what, I'm going all in on that. I want to say that was in April of this year. So I've only really been hard on Snapchat since April. But since then, like I've really got into it, and it's following people like you, people like Michael Meyer, people like Chelsea, and Neil and Bucky and Dustin, and I could go on, and Alex went, and there's just a ton of people. And sorry, I hate giving out names because I always forget somebody and like, hey man, you forgot me. But those are the people that I watched in the beginning, and I really learned on how Snapchat could be done and how it could be done in real estate. And again, I can't really begin to be a teacher or educator, add any value if I'm not a practitioner myself. And so, and again, for me, I wasn't always comfortable being on video, audio. Like whenever I hear my voice, I'm like, why didn't someone tell me that my voice sounds that horrible? So I've never been that comfortable with, the way I look on video and, and everything else. So it's really just getting over that comfort level like that Snapchat did. But, it's really just watching people and then just trying to find my own voice. So honestly, like people like you have been great and real and authentic and has inspired me to do stuff differently. And same with like Michael and Chelsea, and just seeing how stuff's done. Michael always, he gives me a lot more credit than I deserve. But, and I appreciate you, Michael. Thank you very much. That's how I wouldn't say a rock star, but that's how I've been able to develop a following. And also I think it's just because I like to teach. And I always say that if I wasn't doing this, if I wasn't getting paid to do what I do here at this company or whatever, I'd be doing it for free anyway, and I could actually truly say that because I did do it for free for about half a year for, you know, a lot of different clients, and just because I was trying to learn, and also because at that time I was taking a sabbatical from work, so I didn't need to work. You know, I was okay financially, so you know, it's just something that I wanted to do. And I think when you have that, and you try to be authentic, and you try to be as real as you can with the people that you're trying to connect with and network with, you know, it happens. And I appreciate like just the comments from the people on here. It's really humbling. I don't consider myself that way. In fact, when I went to Inman, I had people come up to me and say, "Hey, I watch you on Snapchat. I love your stuff." And so my social media guy was with me, right? So I get back to work, and so, you know, I get joked from my team. They go, "Oh, is that the real estate CIO?" Oh, blah, you know, like, so they actually, and so I, you know, and I try not to get a big head about stuff, you know, and you know, and I try to stay humble. But it, you know, so it really doesn't hit me. It's just like, you know, when I had someone contact me and they're talking to me on the phone, they're like, "Oh, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity because I've been watching you on Snapchat." And I know you get that, you know, when you're talking about hey, are you the Facebook Live realtor? You know, so it's really, you know, it's hard not to feel good about that, but I do. If I'm helping someone, that's, you know, that's just, it's an amazing feeling. And yes, that is selfish for me to feel that way, but it does. I just like the feeling I get knowing that I helped somebody. You know, I don't need accolades. I don't need money. I like the feeling of helping people out. And I think, whether you want to call it a rock star or not, I think that's where you get more of that feeling. So the more you want to add value and help people out. So.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, we love you. We love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, it shows that you're coming from a point of passion and heart. You know, it's all about heart. And that's what people see. And again, going back to that authenticity. And so, I mean, where can we follow you? Where, you know, let us know. Where can we, I mean, I guess Snapchat, that's your main platform, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, so. Snapchat is my #1 engagement. I know not everyone's on Snapchat, but you should be, especially in real estate. But not everyone's on Snapchat, but you could go to my website, which is realestatecio.com. And on that website, you'll have all my social media links, my blogs, the videos that I've done, my Facebook page, you know, engage with me there. But yeah, just, you know, you could do it, you know, email me. Yeah, that's the best way to, you know, connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, you know, whatever suits your fancy.
One question from two of us, Mark and I. Where can we get the cool the cool shirts like you wear?
So I had these custom made. I have LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I could hook you up with the person that did it. Just let me know.
Yeah, Mark and I would like to know that. That's our last question.
Yeah, so
we should all get one, Lance. We should all get Real Estate Live now.
Yeah. It's actually a local lady here in the Bay Area who's a friend of my director of consumer experience, Renee. And so yeah, she does the custom shirts. They're about $25 a pop, something like that. But they're really nice. They're done. They're embroidered. And she does a great job. But yeah, I'm sure she'd be happy for the business. But yeah, if you want to email me, sure. I will put you in contact with her.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I thank you for going over a little bit on time. We really appreciate and value you. We love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Boom, 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 boom. Woo, woo. And thank you so much. And whatever you need, we are here and we support you all the way, whatever you need.
Great. Thank you. And anyone that I didn't answer anything, just, you know, reach out to me. I'll be happy to try to help you out.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.